my kids were surprised I knew what a podcast was.
Exactly. Oh, so Steve, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from, what you do, all that kind of good stuff.
Steve Agnich. I live in Wyoming, Iowa, and I work for the city of Anamosa.
Okay.
I'm the utilities director, so I'm in charge of both water and wastewater. Married for 20 years to my wonderful wife, Stacy. Have 2 kids, Justin and Christina. Christina is 20, and she actually manages a Dollar General store in Stanwood. My son is a senior in high school, and everything goes good. He'll be working at Sherman's Implement dealership here in Monticello, working on Case IH tractors here in December. So
Cool.
Very cool.
How far is Anamosa from Wyoming?
it's about 15 miles.
Okay.
So
Okay. And that's pretty much kind of northeast, not eastern part of Iowa, right?
well, no, actually, we're south. We're more central.
You're on the south side.
We're central.
Gotcha.
So if you go to Makokata, go
Yep.
west,
Yep.
and then that's where we're at.
Okay. Gotcha.
So we've established our teenagers don't think that we're cool in the least bit. Senior in high school, are you cool or not cool?
I think I'm okay. I think
Does he think you're okay?
yes, because one of the projects we have sitting in the garage is an old Farmall tractor from 1954 that we've been rebuilding together.
Oh.
Oh, fun.
So
How long has that project been going on for?
it's been going for about 18 months.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So you have something you're passionate about in common. That always helps kind of bridge the gap with the teenager a
Yes.
little bit.
Yes, and he likes getting his hands dirty, turning wrenches. So,
Yeah.
Cool.
Good.
Don't forget, you have a race car too.
well, yes.
You have a race
I haven't
car?
used much. I drag race since 2008.
Really?
Yeah, I have an 84 Cutlass. So
And where do you do that at?
primarily do it at Cordova, but would go to Earlville every once in a while.
And where's Cordova?
It is just across the river from Clinton,
Okay.
and then south, just 10, 15 miles.
Okay.
And
Good.
that's kind of, Steve and I go back a little bit in that I took my family to go watch him race one time, and the entitled kids that I have in Bettendorf there got a great experience of some great culture, but they loved it.
Did they?
We loved every minute. As soon as those cars took off, and we felt that it was awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about racing.
Yeah.
Is this like quarter mile type racing?
Yes.
Like it's just short and fast and
Yes, yes. And the event that Adam actually come to was the big event for the year where they had some of the professionals that do it for a living on the national circuit come in. So the really fast, really loud cars were there that when they go down the track, you can feel them
yeah.
pounding in your chest.
How fast do you go?
My car at the fastest would run about 128 mile an hour
Within a quarter mile?
within a quarter mile.
What kind of gas do you use?
110,
Really?
110.
Really?
And
Rocket
when you
fuel.
let go of the button, it'll pick the front tires up about a foot and carry them for 60 feet and then send them down.
So do you have the
that
thing
would
on
be
the back
cool.
that like prevents you from
No.
like flip? You just have to know how to do it so that you don't like
Yes,
flip it.
yes. You have to know when to pull off the gas pedal.
Oh wow! How'd you like the races?
We loved
Yeah.
every second of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, these cars take off, and you go, okay, get the other ones lined up. Let's do this again.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can literally feel every part of that car,
So cool.
25 rows up in the stands.
Cool. So how'd you get in this business? How'd you get in what you do today as a profession?
Well, it's kind of funny. I was nearing my end of my career in the National Guard, and decided, well, I better start looking for a job. So I opened up the paper, and contract services in the city of Makokata was looking for help. I read the job description, and I thought, that sounds like something interesting. I like being outside, and I don't like being cooped up all the time, so let's give this a whirl. And here we are.
Yeah.
So how long ago was that? How long have you been in this industry? You might have said it.
That was July of 13
Okay.
when I started.
And you were in the National Guard for
25 years.
25 years.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yep.
And any overseas experience?
2 tours in Afghanistan, one
Oh.
in 2010, and the first one was in 2004.
Oh wow.
Well, thank you for your
Yeah,
service.
that's great.
Thank you.
Very
That's awesome.
cool.
Did you do anything in the National Guard that when you got out you go, yeah, I used to do that in the National Guard, so I'm going to go into the water industry type of thing?
No,
No?
nothing Yeah, just didn't know. Like I said, I read the article and it's like, looks interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably taught you some common sense. That's
think so.
Good to have. Not to mention some field experience and how to turn a wrench, right?
Yeah, because I was a mechanic with the Guard.
I would argue
okay.
when you started in Maquoketa, I mean, you guys brought a lot of those services in-house that, were maybe used outside or the city paid for some of that stuff. Your knowledge in that allowed, hey, let's do this in-house. We've got the people, we've got the equipment.
Oh, so you're paying to outsource it or paying for somebody else to do it, and then you had the opportunity to bring it in-house.
Yeah. And so for people who are not, who are watching the podcast, we also have Adam Laver here. Adam,
Sorry.
that's Adam Laver, who's our territory manager for Iowa and part of Nebraska. So and a little bit of Illinois, right? They're just Iowa and Nebraska. You can tell me the states.
It is Iowa and half of Nebraska. And a slight portion of Illinois. It's like one county, and I wish I knew the name of the county. It's whatever's on the other side of the river here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody get a map.
So he's like now Adam mentioned Maquoketa, and you said Anamosa. So now you're with Anamosa, but you were with Maquoketa. Same type of responsibilities there?
No, in Maquoketa, I was the mechanic, so to speak.
Okay.
My job was to keep the equipment running at the wastewater plant, and then obviously in charge of water main breaks, hydrant repairs, all that kind of stuff. Keep the day-to-day operations running, schedule contractors. Then when I went to Anamosa, I actually became the boss at the wastewater plant when I first started there. And then just here at the end of September, I became the utilities superintendent. So now I'm in charge of both water and wastewater.
Okay.
So what do you like most about the job you have now?
I'm one of these weird people. The military give me that sense of purpose that I was serving the people.
Yeah.
And I still have that sense of service, so to speak. It's my responsibility to make sure that we have clean drinking water and that we're treating the wastewater properly to put it back in the river. So it gives me that same sense of purpose I had in the National Guard, and I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Adam, I'm going to put you on the spot because we didn't tell you that you're going to get any questions. We just told Steve that he was going to get some.
Supposed to fill in.
Yeah, you're just going to
interject here and
there.
there.
Yeah. Gotcha. So we'll see how good a sales guy is, how much BS he gives us, and all that other kind of stuff. So, what makes Anamosa different than a lot of your customers?
I think going back, that's a great question.
Thank you.
And if you say anything stupid, we can just edit it.
Yeah, we edit it out all the time.
We edit a lot of stuff.
I think what you're going to find in Anamosa is that it's pretty progressive in terms of understanding its infrastructure. It's starting now to probably work together. And what I mean is you got a brand new wastewater facility, your water plant is up to date, the infrastructure within the city is another issue all in itself, right? But when you look at Anamosa, the funds are there. There's, I think, smart people there. Right. Obviously, there's a smart person there. Let's keep progressing down, thinking forward rather than constantly maybe band-aiding things.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I think so.
Okay, good. So a lot of people watching this podcast won't understand this, but Anamosa is the home of the Anamosa State Prison.
Yes,
Federal prison. Federal or state prison?
State prison.
Any interesting stories from the Anamosa State Prison that you've had that you could share?
Not yet.
No.
I've technically only been there since the 1st of May.
Okay.
So I haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah. Good.
That'll be podcast 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. Go back and tell us about the Anamosa State Prison. So, as you look kind of starting this role in May and looking towards the future, Adam mentioned, progressive and all that kind of good stuff. What is it that you see changing? That's going to be the biggest challenge for you moving forward?
I think a lot of it, I think it's going to be twofold. Money, because costs are always going up. We know that, especially right now, and then obviously getting people that are willing to come in, work, do the job, being willing to learn, and not just, oh, I want to get a paycheck. So getting those two things is going to be the biggest challenge. Unfortunately, we're in that business, I mean, just like everybody else, but our customers are a little more vocal than the customer that's buying an item at Walmart. You know, they can go shopping at Amazon or something like that. They can't go, my customers, so to speak, can't go shopping.
Yeah.
They're stuck with us.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Interesting.
Besides, like, being able to serve people, just in general about the industry, what are some things that you enjoy about your everyday work? Like, are there certain jobs you go to or certain tasks that you do that it's like, oh, I like doing that, or others that you're like, oh God, why today?
oh, it's just, I don't know. It seems like there's always a challenge. Every day brings a challenge because maybe it rained, you know, so now maybe it was a big rain, we got more flow that we got to deal with at the wastewater plant. Do we have to make adjustments? Do we have to make adjustments to the water plant because we had an event come to town? Ragbri went through Anamosa this summer. So I do know they had to increase pumping to make sure that we had enough water for another 20,000 people in town.
Yeah.
You know, and they were using a bunch too. So same thing at the wastewater plant, you know, make sure everything's up to speed so we have a bigger influx of that coming in too. You know, we can handle it.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's always a challenge.
Yeah.
So for those who aren't familiar, Ragbri is the Register's annual Great Bike Ride across Iowa, right?
Yes.
That sounds right.
Kind of impressed.
You're very.
Like,
she's very
Where
impressed.
is he going with
Yeah.
this? He doesn't know what
Yeah.
that means.
No. No. How many people were in Anamosa for that stop, so to speak?
I think they figured somewhere between 15 and 20,000.
Wow.
And Anamosa is normally a town of.
There's 2,500 citizens, and then they count 5,000 with the inmates in the prison. So
Gotcha. Wow. And so, Adam, where's your home base compared to Anamosa?
I am an hour and 12 minutes south and east of Anamosa.
All right.
In Bettendorf.
And we heard a little bit about Steve's background as far as personal. Well, you know, tell us a little bit about yours.
Yeah, I started, and I like to joke, like, once you're in the water industry, you're stuck in the water industry. But right out of college, I started working for a wholesale distributor in the Des Moines market on the irrigation side of things, commercial, residential. From there, went down to Springfield, Missouri, with the same company as a manager of a warehouse distribution center down there in the same field. Then, in an effort to get kind of closer to family, my wife's originally from the Quad Cities, so we decided we're going to make a push from Springfield up to the Quad Cities. And I got a job up there as an outside guy for a waterworks distributor. So I called on both Iowa and Illinois large end commercial contractors, municipalities. That's how I met Steve and got to know Steve. And then from there, I was there for about 10 years, and then the AY position came available, and I happened to know a few guys that worked here and beg and plead with them, hey, do you think I could get a job? Boy, that looks really good, you know. And so here I am, 3 years with AY McDonald.
It was a weak moment for us, Steve.
Yeah.
Just saying.
well, I was pretty upset. I went to call his phone the one day to get something, and he didn't answer. Somebody else did. I'm like, what's going on here that I don't know about?
Who was it?
They.
Oh, you mean your previous? Your previous.
Yeah. They had called looking
I
for
called
some parts.
his cell phone number
Yeah.
looking for parts, and Adam didn't pick up the phone. Somebody else did. I'm going, what's going on here? What happened to Adam?
Gotcha.
And you're married and you have kids. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yep. Married, 3 kids. I have a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, and then a 10-year-old daughter. So we're on our toes constantly, and I'm constantly, told I'm not cool. I'm made fun of. I mean, one of these days, when I get them off of my tab, I have a feeling
they'll come back and say
Yeah.
that you're cool.
Appreciate a
Your
little more.
wallet will make you so much
Yeah,
cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
so
You have a lot going on, and nobody can drive yet, too.
Yeah.
That's something I'm realizing once my oldest could drive. I was like, wow, that's a game changer.
At first,
One less kid to shuttle around, and hey, you can take the other one with you.
and at first, were you like, I don't want you to drive because now it's like, go.
Yeah, hit
Yeah.
the grocery store on your way home.
Yeah.
The 15-year-old, he's got his learner's permit.
Oh.
And I guess I was shocked as a parent, firstborn, how easy that was to just go, yeah, bye, dude. Like,
Yeah.
see ya. Go get yourself where you need to go.
Yep.
I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. So you mentioned, and this is a question for both of you. Once in the water industry, always in the water industry. Well, Steve, for you, what is it about the water industry that keeps you coming back? I mean, there's got to be something there that you just, draws you to want to come back to that.
I think it's a challenge.
Yeah.
I really do. Because every day is different. Every day has got a new challenge. And, getting that challenge accomplished or beat that challenge is, just makes me feel good. So I like that.
Yeah.
You must have a problem solver type personality. There's some
Very much so.
gratification in solving those problems on a daily basis, and knowing, like you said, on the other end of that is an actual person that benefits
Yes.
from you solving that problem.
Yes.
That's cool.
What about you?
I think it's a neat industry. I think what's neat about it is it kind of weighs maybe the political or the economic storms. We need water, obviously, to survive, and it's what a great convenience it is to be able to, do a load of dishes and pull the plug and there goes the water, or so I think that's what's kind of rewarding from that standpoint, but also I think the people, traveling over Iowa, traveling over Nebraska, wide range of people I get to meet daily, and just getting that interaction and hearing some of those stories is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in both your seats, you probably don't have 2 days that look exactly alike.
No.
So for someone that doesn't want to be bored, and that's actually something too. We've heard a lot about the silver wave, as they're calling it. Like, a huge amount of people are retiring out of these types of industries, like waterworks. What advice would you give to maybe some young kid who might be going into this industry? Like, what do they need to know, or what kind of skills should they focus on?
I guess just be willing to learn. We had this conversation on the way up here today is, we'll take anybody, but we just want you to be willing to learn. We'll teach you. We'll teach you what you need to know. We'll send you to the classes. Just come with the attitude that I want to learn, and I'm going to do what you ask me to.
Yep, pretty simple advice, but important.
Yeah.
100%. I came into the industry with little to no experience, and just start listening, figuring it out, and heck yeah, if we'll train you and keep you around.
Yeah. Sure. So we know what you do as far as the work life, doing family life. You got to enjoy doing some other stuff other than, sounds like race car driving is like, or drag racing.
The need for speed.
Yeah, is a big part of it. What else?
I guess farming.
Yeah.
I've helped a friend since high school. They have about 1,000 acres, and I enjoy that. I enjoy being in the tractor out in the field. If I could, I would, but it's really expensive to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So you're out there now. Are you harvesting down there now?
Yes.
It's mid-October right now, and so you guys, I've seen some people out there harvesting.
yeah, we was combining corn all weekend. So
Oh wow, and that's not a 9-to-5 job, is it?
no, it's not.
Oh, you'll be out there tonight again.
Yeah,
till
yeah.
9.
Once I get back, it'll
Yeah.
probably be 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight after I get off work and go out and help.
Wow.
It sounds like you don't have a lazy bone in your
No.
body.
No,
Motivated.
That's what I'm gathering here.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Adam? Do you farm or race cars?
No,
Neither
I
of the
don't
two.
check any of those
Rides a
boxes.
bicycle, I know that.
My wife and I bought some bikes,
Yeah.
and we enjoy biking, and there's some adult beverages that are
gonna
consumed
say
on
biking
those
and
bike
drinking.
tours.
Biking and
but-
drinking?
Yeah.
Never tried it, but might give it a shot.
Yeah, and then all the kids are in a ton of activities. So I'm usually in a basketball court, you know, in a gym somewhere on a weekend, or you know, on a soccer field doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it about AY McDonald, either products or maybe even just dealing with the company? Is there anything that stands out to you or that you want to share?
Well, of the products that we use, it seems like they're always easy to get a hold of. That's especially, you know, today.
Yeah.
That's number one. You know, if you can't get a hold of something, then you gotta, you know, that's a struggle. And then it always seems the quality's always been really good. I've never had any issues with anything that we've ordered that's came through AY McDonald. It's always been really good stuff. So I recommend it to everybody that asks, hey, where do we get this from? Well, we use this, so I'd use that. So
Good. And now, obviously, you don't use the product in the field, but what about AY McDonald keeps you happy?
That's a loaded question.
I know.
Employee, right?
Yeah, it is.
I'm like,
not like your job depends on
yeah.
it.
I'd really like it. Culture, I think, coming in, welcoming. You can approach everyone. I mean, right now we could walk up on Executive Row up there, and there isn't going to be a closed door, right? So you have direct access from the top down, right? And everybody's kind of listening, you know, from that perspective. But through different jobs, and I've sold all the different competitors' brands, right? Gotten a tour of all the different facilities. You come into AY, and everybody that'll tour this facility, look around. It's the cleanest foundry they've ever been to in their entire life. The time that those guys take out there to put all that together, keep that, you know, not only do their job, but to keep that workspace clean, safe. I guess that rolls back into the cultural side of things. I mean, you know, we take care of our people, you know, and it's just, it's really been fun to be a part of that.
Yeah, there's kind of a level of care in every aspect of the business, regardless of what it is. And we have a lot of fun. For me, I feel like even setting out to do this podcast, I'm like, oh boy, this isn't going to be stuffy. We're just going to sit down and start talking. But that's just sort of how everything is at AY. It's like work hard, play hard, have a lot of fun in the process.
Yep, absolutely.
No, it also doesn't take much, but I know just about every room I walk into here, I'm not the smartest guy, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. We call that dugging it down.
Yeah, dugging it down.
So they dug down everything for me. Yeah. Oh boy, here it comes.
When one of your
Pictures, color-coded
Yeah.
stuff.
One of your engineer buddies says something all complicated.
Yeah.
Doug and I look at each other. One more time. Give us that one more time. Slower.
They see the glaze. But so, Steve, you know, one of the things that we ask a lot of our people, a lot of our guests, I should say, is, you know, what's kind of the oddest, strangest, whatever it might be, the one job that sticks out in your mind.
Well, I guess the most interesting, oddest, can be rather disgusting job
We'll go for those too.
Yeah.
would be both in Maquoketa and at Hermosa. We have trash baskets in different locations. And the unique amount of items that you will find in these trash baskets, from money to toys, cue balls that somehow they got flushed down the toilet. I don't know how.
Money?
Money, yes.
Really?
Billfolds.
Huh.
Credit cards?
Credit. I haven't found a credit card.
So
I've
when
heard
you're
about
saying
it.
trash baskets, you're talking about after they have been flushed.
Yes, items that have been flushed, whether on purpose or by accident. You know, maybe your son or daughter took, you know, their favorite Hot Wheels car and was playing and dropped it and then hit the lever and it's gone.
Yeah.
And then we find it.
And then they come asking you for it.
No.
I don't
Haven't
think
had that.
nobody wants that stuff back.
I didn't say they did.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But my old boss told me about one lift station he went to, and he went to pull the trash basket up and clean it, and he couldn't get it pulled up. That's because there was a golf club that was stuck into it, and they had to break the shaft of the golf club to get the basket pulled up.
How did they get a
I
golf
have
club
no idea.
down? Really?
That's crazy.
I don't know how they got it in there. How I don't know the details that way, but it ended up in the trash
Could be an
basket in the lift
unexpected
station.
surprise.
Yeah, I play a lot of golf, and I've often wanted to do that. I just didn't think it was possible. I'm gonna have to give it a shot now. Yeah,
I know, like I said, don't know how I got there.
interesting. That is interesting. So I'm still one of your questions that you often ask. Well, I already gave you mine, so
Okay.
hold on, maybe I did. Hold on a second. Nope, go ahead and ask that question because that's what I was going to ask.
No, you go.
No, I insist.
I don't know
Please.
which one you're looking for.
It's the last one. So, if you weren't in the waterworks industry,
Oh, I love that question.
I know that's why I said I
It tells
didn't.
you a little bit about, like, you know,
I know, so I ask them.
if you weren't in the waterworks industry, what
We're-
would you do? What other career or...
We're not married either, just so you know. It's
Big
the
neck.
bickering back and forth. We
You'd
have,
never
yeah.
Just comes
survive,
natural.
Yeah,
buddy.
exactly.
Oh, it's real simple for me. I'd be farming.
No, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Between growing crops and raising livestock, I grew up with that, and then I really miss that. And that's why I've helped my friend as long as I have, is because, I can't necessarily do it myself, but I can live through him, so to speak,
Yeah.
to do that.
And you may have said this, and I apologize if you did, but did you grow up in Iowa?
Yes,
Okay.
I am not very far from home.
Okay, good. So you had a farm growing up.
Yeah, my parents still live on the farm, and
Oh, nice.
Dad still farms today.
Good.
And maybe someday, if he ever decides to retire,
Yeah.
I'll get the opportunity to take that piece over. So-
Farmers, it takes a lot for farmers to retire.
It
It's
does.
It's just too much of a passion, I think.
And I want to, if it keeps him
Yeah.
busy and not sitting on the couch, then he calls me when he needs help right now, and I'll go help him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always say, like, farm kids and concrete workers are, like, two of the hardest working people when we're looking for people to hire in the foundry.
Yep.
It's some hard work in there.
Yep, absolutely. How about you?
I would have. I know I'd go back and get an engineering degree.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelly knows that I really enjoy hanging out with Sebastian and Tyler out there in the Innovation Center. And then when I first got hired, it was interesting. One of the things they asked, they're like, "What? Is there somebody else you'd like to visit that's maybe not on your schedule or whatever?" And I said, "Well, can I go see the engineering department?" And the looks that I got were, they're like, "Why do you want to go
Yeah.
in there again?" And I'm like, "I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool place."
Yeah. Not a lot of people say, "I want to go see the engineers." No. Huh.
Not at all.
Yeah. And so obviously when you're talking about Sebastian and Tyler, there are engineers over at the Innovation Center who have a lot to do with the development of our innovative product, along with Kelly over there as the product manager. So, good. Anything else that you got?
I don't think so.
No? Well, Steve and Anna, we appreciate you coming in and taking some time. We know you guys are very busy, but we appreciate you participating in the AY After Hours. And for everybody out there, I invite you to send us any suggestions you might have as far as ideas, comments when it comes to AY After Hours. I screwed that up, didn't I?
So let me put this in context. We end this podcast relatively the same way. Doug screws up about 4 or 5 times.
Every time.
We all start to sweat and feel sorry for him, and then he miraculously pulls it together.
AY After Hours, right?
Take
You
2.
gotta do the email.
I was going to.
Yeah, you were.
The funny thing is,
Where are
the
the
funny
cue
thing is, you
cards?
just flowed into the closing
yeah.
like you thought you were gonna just nail
I
it.
did. I thought I had it down.
Okay.
Nailed it. What's the email? So I'm going to say this again, so don't, And by the way, I was listening when you were talking earlier about your service. It's just I asked the question so that everybody
Understand.
So I was not ignoring you. Well, Steve and Emma, we do appreciate you spending time with us today with Kelly and I at AY After Hours, and ask anybody out there that if you have any suggestions or thoughts as far as additional topics, feel free to email us at ayafterhours@aymcdonald.com, and feel free to follow us on any of the socials.
2 takes.
Done.
That was good.
Mic drop.
2 takes. Make sure you keep the first one where he screws up in the thing.
Oh my God, do they ever have a blooper reel?